Warning, this video only contains spoilers and is directed to those who's interested and have played Titanfall 1 and 2's campaign. If you wish to play them before watching this video, I recommend you doing so. You have been warned. Hello boys and girls, I'm the Flying Teacup, and I'm happy to see that you guys like these videos where I retell the story behind Titanfall. So here in part 2, I will tell the tale of the Militia. This is the second part of the faction story. To get the full picture of what happened, watch the character catch up part 1. When the IMC returned to the frontier, they expected the colonists to work for them without questions. Sadly, they couldn't be more wrong. After the colonists refused to work for them, the IMC turned to violence and tried to restore their rightful place on the frontier. They gave the colonists two options: either work for them or suffer the consequences, being executed on the spot. After years of slavery and betrayal, the colonists started a rebel group called the Frontier Militia. Some IMC officers realized what really went down on the frontier and joined them. With the help of ex-IMC officers, the Frontier Militia could lay out powerful blows to weaken the IMC and to help innocent civilians escape. Many attempts were successful, and some were not. Even though the militia grew and got stronger, they were still the underdog on the frontier. The destruction of their fueling station Demeter was one of the militia's most successful punches at the IMC. With it destroyed, the IMC could not reach the core system and was stranded in their enemy's territory.
The frontier is worth every part of this fight.
Sarah Briggs grew up on the frontier. Her family was killed by the IMC when refusing to follow their orders. Sarah's hate for the IMC is strong, and she's willing to do everything in her power to stop their terrorizing brute force. She's a high priority target for the IMC and has a long history of successful attacks against them. She began her commander post for the Frontier Militia after the former commander was killed in action, and the militia was in dire need of fuel, which led to the mission, the refueling raid. The commander post was given to Sarah and Bish. Since then, Sarah has evolved as commander, and the militia has grown a lot, as Captain Lastimosa confirms.
We've retaken over a quarter of frontier space since the Battle of Demeter. Militia's better organized now. More people join every day to fight the IMC. People like you.
Now she keeps fighting the IMC and supports the mercenary group of the M Corps, Marauder Corps, but also serves as a pilot and a ground commander for the SRS.
Protocol 3. Protect the pilot.
BT-7274, probably one of the first Vanguard Titans to be created. It was given to an old Titan War veteran, Captain Ty Lastimosa. BT was then given to Jack Cooper after Lastimosa suffered major injuries and was KIA. BT and Cooper saved the planet Harmony from its destruction by the IMC, which resulted in the death of BT-7274. You know what? I know I won't get away with this, so let's get it over with.
Fast and Furious.
Is BT really dead? In the end, his chassis gets destroyed, together with the Ark, and is not seen again. Though after the credits, Cooper's helmet is shown glowing in Morse code and is translated to Jack, ? Which shows a sign that BT is still alive. To be honest, this is very possible, because the Titan is not just a cold machine, but contains an AI as well. As we know, a Titan Lake is extremely strong. It can even be interacted through time, as shown in Infecting Cause. So conclusion, the chassis of BT-7274 is completely gone, but some AI data might still exist inside Cooper's helmet. The reason why I won't make a full-fledged theory about this is because there is already other people who have made videos about this topic, and as far as I can see, they're right. So I don't want to beat a dead horse, if you know what I'm saying.
Don't worry, BT. I'm not going anywhere.
Jack Cooper was born on the frontier while the IMC was raiding. While growing up, he wanted to become a pilot. He wanted to fight for the right thing and bring peace on the frontier. He eventually joined the militia as a third-class rifleman and arrived at his first battle as a grunt on the refueling raid mission. He suffered from a concussion and lost some memory of the events, as BT tells in the mission The Beacon.
Scans indicate a fallen pilot. My memory recalls this pilot as an exceptional fighter, proven well during the fracture operation.
Fracture? Sounds familiar.
My records indicate you received a concussion during fracture and suffered some memory loss. It was a major combat refueling operation and one of your first assignments as a rifleman.
Damn.
Somehow, a pilot named Ty Lastimosa caught interest in Cooper and voluntarily started to teach him the basics of becoming a pilot. In Titanfall 2 you play as Jack Cooper and cooperates with VT-7274 to finish an unknown mission, originally given to the SRS. Cooper, who was the lowest rank of rifleman, had to learn how to become a pilot during the mission and ended up taking Lastimosa's place in the SRS as an elite pilot after the destruction of Typhon. Now Cooper works for the Marauder SRS as an acting pilot with a newly assigned Vanguard Titan, possibly called FS-1041. Wait, what? Why do I think so? Well, in the campaign when you call down your Titan, in the simulation tutorial, you can see what the Titan that Cooper calls down is called. That being FS-1041. This Titan's AI is most likely based on what's left of VT's data in Cooper's helmet.
We're totally crushing it. The IMC don't stand a chance.
Sheng Bish Lork is an ex-IMC engineer who was born on Earth and was later employed and sent to the frontier. After living there for some time, he wanted to return to the core system and to Earth, but lost all of his money because of an IMC job. Penniless, he struggled to find a new source of income. Lucky for him, he got into a bar fight and was noticed by a militia officer who offered him a job in the militia. Bish gladly accepted and now works for them as a technician and helps out when it's needed. Under the mission The Colony, Bish noticed a distress signal made by James McAllen. As an ex-IMC employee, he knew who McAllen was, and that he would be good help for them. McAllen helped Bish get an incredible amount of data regarding the IMC and their secrets from the Odyssey. Where's Bish now? I don't know. All we know is that he's still alive and works for the militia as an engineer. Or is he?
Fast and Furious.
2. The only appearance that Bish has in Titanfall 2 is a call sign that you can get from leveling up your Wingman Elite. Now, something that scares me is that the Wingman Elite is said to be Blisk's weapon of choice. And as we all know, the majority of the call signs that are related to weapons have them or something regarding them in the picture. So what if Blisk killed Bish and that's why he's not present in Titanfall 2? Personally, I hope that's not the case. I love Bish. He was the one reason I loved to play as the Militia in Titanfall 1. I hope he gets his own faction in the future. Respawn? Please?
You can't trust anyone 100%.
Robert Barker Tambu is an ex-IMC pilot who served during the Titan Wars and has been called one of the best pilots known to the frontier, alongside with James McAllen. After McAllen took the Odyssey alongside with a handful of civilians, Barker returned to a normal life in Angel City shortly after. There he started a habit of drinking, probably to forget the days as a pilot, as he refused to cooperate later when James McAllen comes back to help the militia. After the Battle of Demeter, he started a mercenary group called ACES, which stands for Angel City Elite Squad. The ACES sees the militia as allies and helps them out if needed, as seen in the mission The Ark, where Barker himself saves Cooper and BT.
I got you, kid. Brace yourself.
Parker, nice of you to show up.
You're welcome.
When they're not busy killing people, they're trying to solve mysteries on the frontier. Where's Barker now? Now he's most likely traveling around the frontier to find answers that the IMC and the Remnant fleet possesses.
The 6-4 is a family. It will kick your ass.
Gates is a section commander of the freelance unit called 6-4. As she's new to the series, we don't know much about her. Maybe we'll get to know her better in a single-player DLC, or in Titanfall 3. The 6-4 unit is a freelance group who closely resembles the M-Corps, though they can't afford as much money as the other factions. Instead, they offer peace and freedom on the frontier, but only on their own terms. As said before, they clearly see the IMC as a threat, and the militia as an older sibling, or a great ally.
A lot's changed in the last 15 years since you wore this uniform, Mac. I won't let you walk away this time.
Marcus Graves was an IMC Vice Admiral that was responsible for the IMC missions on the frontier. He had much more control over the IMC forces than other officers of the IMC. That's because the IMC lay their trust in the officers and give them more possibilities. Sadly, Graves has a reputation of switching tactics and plans mid-fight, which is seen as riskful to the IMC. That's why he was accompanied by Blisk and Spyglass. Even though Graves is known to be quite ruthless and crazy, he has his morals. In the mission The Refueling Raid, he asked Blisk in the end of the battle how many militia ships that were destroyed and how many were civilians. Blisk being Blisk responds with,
Today's civilians are tomorrow's militia, sir. What do you want me to do? Wait?
Graves shows huge disappointment in Blisk's sociopathic actions. He does the same to Spyglass when he refuses to send in dropships on Demeter. After the Battle of Demeter, Graves changes side to help the militia and takes over after the death of James McAllen. He's not seen in Titanfall 2, not as a patch, call sign or faction, so it's hard to say what he's up to now. But he probably continues to fight alongside the militia and helps them out as best as he can. So, there's the background story behind Titanfall 1 and 2. I hope this was helpful for some of you. I made these videos to make it easier for people to understand past and future theories. So, if someone asks what I'm talking about story-wise, then give them a link to these two videos, and I'd be very thankful. Thanks for watching, and take care.